"You're holding me back," she said, lipstick half on, suitcase open on our bed. "If you can't clap for me, get out of my way." I nodded like she'd just told me the weather. Okay. And then, in the next 72 hours, I quietly removed myself from her life, so cleanly she didn't realize it was happening, until she was standing in my doorway with nowhere to put her anger. The night she said it, the condo smelled like dry shampoo and that vanilla body spray she only wore when she was trying to be vacation cute. Her outfits were laid out in stacks like a mood board: sparkly top, white jeans, a swimsuit still tagged. She was on the floor rolling straps, checking a list on her phone. We'd been together a little over 2 years, lived together for 9 months. We met at a charity 5K in Greenville, South Carolina. I was there because my coworker Caleb guilted me into it with, "Come on man, it's for the food bank and you need sunlight." Maya was volunteering at the check-in table, handing out bibs like she was hosting a morning show. She smiled at everyone. She had that easy social energy that makes you feel like you're already friends. "I'm not that, guys. I'm Grant. I work for the county as a building inspector. It's a job built on clipboards, codes, and being the person who says, 'No, you can't do that,' without getting punched. I like predictable. I like receipts. I like things that can be measured and verified." Maya was the opposite. She managed social media for a boutique fitness studio and did content on the side. Her camera roll was full of mirror selfies, flat lays, and short videos of her making coffee like it was a ritual. She talked in trends. She had friends in every room. On paper, we made sense. She pulled me out of my head. I grounded her when she started chasing the next shiny thing. And I did make sacrifices, real ones. I switched from my quiet gym to hers because she wanted us to be a couple who works out together, and I paid the ridiculous membership without complaining. I stopped doing my Friday night poker game with Caleb and the guys because Maya always had a dinner, a birthday, a networking thing, and she'd get sulky if I didn't come. When she had a slow month at work, I covered more than my share without keeping score. Groceries, HOA fees, her car insurance once because her card randomly got hacked, which should have been a red flag by itself. And I moved her into my condo. That part matters. I bought that condo before we met. 2-bedroom, second floor, small balcony, nothing fancy. I liked it because it was mine. It was quiet. I could leave a mug in the sink overnight and nobody would live tweet it. When Maya moved in, she brought plants and scented candles and a whiteboard with our goals written in cute bubble letters. She also brought this little enamel keychain shaped like a peach that she clipped onto my key ring the first week. "For luck," she said, "also so your keys aren't boring." It was stupid. I loved it. Here's the thing. I wasn't looking for reasons to leave. I wasn't sitting there waiting for her to mess up so I could do some dramatic mic drop. I genuinely thought we were building something. Then the girls' trip happened. It started like all our arguments did, small, stupid, and framed like I was the one making it weird. She announced the trip on a Tuesday like it was already decided. "Miami," she said, like saying it out loud made it official. "Tessa's cousin has a place. We're going in 2 weeks." Tessa was her friend from the studio. Loud laugh, always filming, always talking about the vibe. I said, "Cool, when are you leaving?" "Thursday after work," Maya said. "Back Sunday, it's gonna be such a reset." I nodded, "Okay, who's going?" She waved a hand, me, Tessa, and some girls. Some girls. When someone says some girls like that, it usually means there's a part they're skipping because it'll cause a reaction. I didn't react, I just asked, like who? Maya's eyes flicked up and then away. "Bria, maybe Kendra, it depends." I let it go, not because I was scared, but because I was tired. I'd been doing inspections all day in the cold, crawling through a crawlspace that smelled like wet dog, and I didn't have the energy to chase details out of someone who should have been honest by default. The real argument didn't happen until the night before she left, when the suitcase hit the bed and the attitude came with it. She was packing like she was mad at the clothes, folding hard, zipping and unzipping, snatching a belt out of a drawer like it insulted her. I leaned on the doorframe. "You need help." "No," she said, too fast. I watched for a second. I hate doing this, but I can read patterns. It's my job. You see enough bad framing jobs and you start to spot the crookedness immediately. Maya, I said calm, are you going with just Tessa and those girls? She didn't look up, yes. I paused, okay, then why did I hear Owen's name in your kitchen video this morning? She froze for half a second, the smallest slip, then she kept moving. Owen, she repeated, like it was the first time she'd ever heard of him. Owen Pierce, I said, the trainer guy, the one who's always around. I heard you say, Owen, don't step in the frame. She exhaled loudly like I'd asked her to recite the Constitution. He was there because he works there, Grant. Right, I said, so why is he on Tessa's story saying Miami lineup confirmed? That was the moment her head snapped up, her eyes got sharp. You're stalking our stories now, she said. I didn't raise my voice. It was public. It came up. She laughed, but it wasn't a happy laugh. It was a laugh that said I was supposed to feel embarrassed. You always do this, she said. You take one thing and you spiral. I'm not spiraling, I said. I'm asking who's going. She slapped a pile of clothes into the suitcase. It's literally not your business. I'm going with my friends. I nodded slowly. Okay, so answer the question. Her face hardened. Tessa invited Owen and his friend because they know people down there. It's not a big deal. There it was, the truth, released like a hostage. I kept my voice even, so it's not a girls' trip. It's a group trip, she said, and before you start, no, I'm not asking permission. I didn't say you needed permission, I said. I said you didn't tell me. She rolled her eyes so hard it looked like it hurt, because you would do exactly this. This meaning calmly asking questions in my own home. I took a breath. Maya, you're going out of state with two guys I don't know, and you hid it until you were packing. She stood up, zipper halfway closed, and pointed at me like I was a bad employee. Because you don't trust me, she said, you never have. That's not true, I said. I trust what I'm given. Wow, she said, dripping sarcasm. Listen to you, you sound like my dad. I didn't bite. Where are you staying? Tessa's cousin's place, she said. Address, I asked. Why, she snapped. Because if something happens, I'd like to know where you are, I said. That's normal. Maya's cheeks flushed. She was angry now, the kind of angry that wants to win, not solve. You're not my father, she said. You don't get to track me. I'm not tracking you, I said. I'm asking like your partner. She took a step closer, and her voice went low and mean. You're holding me back, she said. You always have. Every time I try to do something fun, you act like it's a threat. If you can't handle the life I want, then stop standing in my way. That was her nuclear line, not loud, not dramatic, just final. And I felt something in me click into place, like a latch closing. I didn't argue, I didn't defend myself. I didn't bring up the bills or the sacrifices or the fact that I'd been rearranging my life around her calendar for months. I just said the calm line that came out before I could even think about it. Got it, I said. She blinked like she expected fireworks, like she expected me to beg. Instead, I stepped away from the doorway and went into the kitchen. She followed, suitcase rolling behind her, still fuming. You're seriously not going to say anything, she demanded. I opened the fridge, grabbed a bottle of water, and twisted the cap. You said what you said. Because it's true, she said. You make everything heavy. I took a sip, okay. That word, okay, made her angrier than any insult would have. Don't do that, she snapped. Don't act like you're above it. I'm not above anything, I said. I'm just listening. She stared at me, chest rising and falling, trying to figure out what game I was playing. The truth was, I wasn't playing a game. I was making a decision. She left the next morning in a cloud of perfume and defiance, suitcase banging against the doorframe. She didn't kiss me goodbye. She didn't even look back. Before she walked out, she held up her phone like a warning. And don't blow up my phone, she said. I'm not doing this control thing all weekend. I nodded once, have a safe flight. She scoffed like even that was patronizing and walked out. When the door clicked shut, the condo felt strangely quiet, like the air had been holding its breath. I stood there for a second, keys in my hand, that stupid little peach keychain tapping against my knuckles. Then my phone buzzed. A notification banner slid across the screen. Reservation confirmed. It wasn't my phone. It was Maya's iPad. She used it for editing reels because she liked the bigger screen. It was usually glued to her hands, but she'd left it on the kitchen counter charging. The screen lit up, and right there on the lock screen was the email preview. Marina Vista Hotel, booking confirmation. And under it, guest Maya Hart. Then another line, additional guest, Owen Pierce. I didn't touch anything. I didn't unlock it. I didn't open the email. I didn't need to. That lock screen notification was enough. Lawful, accidental, clean. My stomach didn't drop the way you see in movies. I didn't feel dizzy. I didn't punch a wall. I felt clear. I wish that was the worst part, but the worst part was how calm I became, like some part of me had been waiting for permission to stop trying. I took a picture of the iPad screen with my own phone, just to document what I'd seen without interacting with it. Then I set the iPad back exactly where it was. I sat at the kitchen table and stared at my hands. Here's the thing about being the steady one. People assume steady means you don't have limits, that you'll always be there, always absorb it, always adjust. Steady people have limits, we just hit them quietly. I texted Maya one message. 1. Hey, your iPad is on the counter, safe travels. No accusations, no questions. She replied 20 minutes later with a thumbs up. That thumbs up was the last piece I needed. I didn't blow up her phone. I didn't call Tessa. I didn't DM Owen. I didn't post anything. I didn't do any of the messy stuff. I did logistics. The first thing I did was call Caleb. He answered on the second ring. If this is about the poker game, it's Friday. It's not, I said. You busy? There was a pause. You sound weird. What's up? I need help making a plan, I said. Not feelings, plan. Caleb exhaled. Okay, tell me. I told him the short version, the quote, the trip, the hotel notification. He didn't say, I told you so. He didn't gasp. He just said, all right, you want to end it. Yes, I said, Qley. Then we do it, Qley, he said. First question, whose name is on the place? Mine, I said. Deed is mine. HOA is mine. Is she on anything? He asked. Not the mortgage, not the deed, not utilities, I said. She Venmos me sometimes for groceries. Okay, he said. Still, she's been living there. Don't do anything dumb. I won't, I said. I want lawful. Good, he said. Call a landlord-tenant attorney for a consult. Even if you own, you want the steps. So I did. That same afternoon, I paid for a 30-minute phone consult with a local attorney. It wasn't dramatic. It was literally a calendar link and a credit card. The attorney confirmed what I already knew. Even if someone isn't on the deed, if they've been living there, you can't just toss them out like trash without notice. You can end the arrangement, but you need to do it the right way. So I did. Within 48 hours, I completed a reset so methodical it felt like filing a permit. Action 1, I opened a new checking account at a different bank, not because my old bank was bad, but because Maya knew where I banked. She deposited checks for me before. I didn't want, oops, I had to transfer something, access. Action 2, I moved my direct deposit. Took 10 minutes through HR. I also changed my emergency contact from Maya to Caleb. That one stung more than I expected. Action 3, I removed Maya as an authorized user on my credit card. She technically had her own card tied to my account for emergencies, which mostly meant Starbucks when her card was acting up. I called, removed her, and asked for a new card number for me. Simple. Action 4, I changed passwords on my accounts, not her accounts. Mine, email, banking, utilities, streaming services, everything. I used a password manager and two-factor authentication, not because I thought she was some criminal mastermind, but because breakups make people do stupid things. Action 5, I rented a small storage unit on the other side of town, month to month. I didn't put her stuff in it yet. I just secured the option, because I knew this was going to end with boxes somewhere. Action 6, I documented the condo. I walked through every room and took a slow video on my phone. Furniture, electronics, closets. I opened drawers, not to be creepy, to protect myself. I've seen enough people claim someone stole something that never existed. Action 7. I packed my own things first. I didn't touch her suitcase. I didn't touch her jewelry tray. I packed my clothes, my work gear, my personal documents, and anything sentimental. I also took the peach keychain off my ring and set it in the kitchen drawer. I didn't want to carry her luck around while I was doing this. Action 8. I set up a PO box and submitted a change of address for my mail. Yes, I could have forwarded to Caleb's place, but a PO box is cleaner, more boundaries, less awkward. Action 9. I emailed the attorney back and asked for a written template notice ending in at-will occupancy, just to make sure the language was correct. I printed it, signed it, dated it. Action 10. The petty but legal detail. Maya loved my Costco membership, not because she was stocking up on essentials, but because she liked going in there and getting content with the giant seasonal stuff, the giant teddy bears, the sample stations, the look at this absurd snack videos. So I removed her from the household card. Not because I needed revenge, but because I needed separation. No shared perks, no shared access, no shared anything. 72 hours after she left, my condo looked like someone had calmly unstitched my life from hers. Then I did the hardest part. I texted Maya, "When you're back, we need to talk about living arrangements. I'll put it in writing." She replied 3 hours later, "Lol, can you not be dramatic while I'm trying to relax?" I didn't respond. I taped the written notice to the inside of a folder and placed it on the kitchen counter. Next to it, I left a plain sticky note. 7 words. Not holding you back anymore. Good luck. Then I left. I didn't leave in a rush. I didn't slam doors. I didn't play sad music. I loaded my car, drove to a furnished month-to-month place Caleb's cousin rented out over their garage, and carried my boxes up one flight of stairs. That first night, I slept like someone turned off a buzzing light. I wish that was the end. It was. Maya came back Sunday afternoon. I know because my doorbell camera notification popped up. I wasn't there, but the camera showed her in the hallway, suitcase behind her, hair still beach wavy, sunglasses on like armor. She tried the key. It worked, because I hadn't changed locks, because I wasn't going to do anything sketchy. She walked in like she owned the air. 10 seconds later, her face changed. Even through the grainy camera, I could see it, the moment she realized the condo didn't feel like ours anymore. She called me immediately. I let it ring twice and answered. "Hey," I said. "What is this?" she demanded, voice already sharp. "It's what it looks like," I said. "Why is your stuff gone?" she snapped. "Grant, are you seriously throwing a tantrum?" "I moved out," I said, "temporary." "Temporary," she repeated, like the word offended her. "You can't just leave because we had a fight." "We didn't have a fight," I said. "You made yourself clear." She went quiet for half a second, then her tone changed. "The deny phase." "You're overreacting," she said, suddenly softer. "You always do this extreme thing instead of just talking." "I'm willing to talk," I said, "but I'm not willing to keep living like that." "What does like that even mean?" she snapped, flipping back into anger. "It means being told I'm a problem for asking basic questions," I said. "It means being treated like I'm in the way." She scoffed, "Oh my God, you're seriously doing this because I went on a trip." "I'm doing this because of what you said," I replied. "And you're going to punish me," she said. "That's insane." "I'm not punishing you," I said. "I'm making a decision." Then came guilt. "You know I've been stressed," she said, voice cracking a little like she'd practiced it. "Work has been awful. You're my safe place and now you're just gone." I didn't take the bait. "There's a notice on the counter. Please read it." "What notice?" she said, suddenly wary. "The written notice," I said. "It explains the timeline and how we'll handle your things." Her breath hitched. "You gave me an eviction notice." "It's not an eviction," I said. "It's notice ending the living arrangement. It's what the attorney recommended." "Attorney," she shrieked. "You talked to an attorney. Are you trying to ruin my life?" "I'm trying to keep mine calm," I said. That's when the flying monkeys started. First was Tessa. She texted me, "Wow, Myra's crying. You really did that. That's cold." I didn't reply. Then her sister Bridget called. I'd met Bridget maybe 4 times. She was nice enough, but she loved drama like it was cardio. I answered because I knew she'd keep calling. "Grant," Bridget said, voice full of fake concern, "what are you doing to my sister?" "I'm not doing anything to her," I said. "I moved out." "She said you left paperwork like she's some stranger," Bridget said. "Do you know how humiliating that is?" "It's not about humiliation," I said. "It's about boundaries." Bridget snorted. "Boundaries? Or are you just trying to scare her? Because let me tell you, she is not in the right headspace for your little power move." There it was, the manipulation attempt. Mental health as a weapon. "I'm sorry she's upset," I said, "but I'm not debating this with you." Bridget's tone turned sharp. "If she has to call the cops because you're taking her things, she will." "I didn't take her things," I said. "My stuff is gone. Her stuff is still there." "Well, she says," Bridget started. "I'm going to end this call," I said. "If Maya needs to communicate with me, she can do it in writing." Bridget laughed like I was ridiculous. "You're acting like you're in court." "I'm acting like I want a clean record of what's said," I replied. Then I hung up. Maya tried bargaining next. She texted, "Can we please meet tonight and talk like adults? I'll say sorry for what I said. I didn't mean it." I waited 10 minutes and replied, "We can talk tomorrow by phone. I'm not meeting in person right now." She responded instantly, "So you're just abandoning me?" I didn't answer. Then came rage. She showed up at my work. Not inside, not to cause a scene. She waited by my car like she was starring in her own dramatic finale. I saw her when I walked out with my clipboard and coffee. Her eyes were red, her makeup was smudged. She looked furious and wounded at the same time. "Seriously," she said, stepping toward me, "you're going to hide like this?" "I'm not hiding," I said, keeping my voice low. "The parking lot wasn't crowded, but it wasn't empty either. This isn't the place." "Oh, now you care about places," she snapped. "You didn't care when you blindsided me." "I didn't blindside you," I said. "I responded to what you told me." She shook her head hard. "I said one thing in frustration, and you went nuclear." "I went calm," I corrected. She laughed bitterly. "Don't do that. Don't pretend you're the Zen king. You're doing this to hurt me." "I'm doing this to protect myself," I said. She stepped closer, voice dropping. "If you don't come home and talk to me, I'll tell people what you're really like." There it was, smear threat. I didn't flinch. "You can tell people whatever you want. I won't participate." Her eyes narrowed. "You're not even going to fight for us." I looked at her for a second and felt nothing sharp, just tired clarity. "You told me I was in your way," I said. "I'm not going to argue with that." She opened her mouth, and for a split second I saw fear under the anger. Then she snapped back into rage. "This is because you think I cheated," she hissed. "You're inventing stuff." I didn't say hotel confirmation out loud. I didn't need to. I wasn't trying to win an argument. I was trying to exit a situation. "I'm not debating details in a parking lot," I said. "If you want to talk logistics, email me." She scoffed. "Email, you're insane." "Maybe," I said, and opened my car door, "but I'm consistent." I drove away with my hands steady on the wheel. That week I followed through on everything I said I would. Maya emailed me, long paragraphs swinging between apology and accusation. I replied with short, factual messages. I offered 2 options. She could move out by the date in the notice, or she could request an earlier move out with me covering a portion of a moving truck as long as we did a documented handoff. I also offered to be present while she packed, with a neutral third party there, to avoid any claims. Caleb volunteered, because Caleb is a good friend and also slightly enjoys being the guy who stands there with his arms crossed like a bouncer. Maya hated that. She wanted the emotional version, the shouting, the crying, the dramatic reunion. She didn't get it. When she finally packed, she tried one last angle. As she carried a box past me, she said quietly, "I didn't actually do anything." I didn't respond. She set the box down and stared at me. "Are you really going to throw this away over a misunderstanding?" I met her eyes. "Maya, you told me I was holding you back." She opened her mouth, then closed it. Because she couldn't rewrite that part. Weeks passed. The noise faded, the text slowed, the flying monkeys got bored and moved on to their next group chat emergency. And here's what changed on my side. My life got quieter in a way that felt like healing. I started sleeping through the night. No more waking up at 2 a.m. because Maya was laughing at something on her phone in bed, or because my brain was bracing for the next argument. My bank account stopped bleeding, not because Maya was some villain draining me, but because couple life with her meant constant spending. Brunches, trips, outfits, events. When it was just me, I cooked, I walked, I breathed. I started going back to the Friday poker night. Caleb made a big show of sliding me a soda like I'd been rescued from a cult. I also picked up a hobby I'd dropped, hiking, nothing intense, just early Saturday trails, quiet, no filming, no content. One morning on a trail outside town, I stopped at a lookout and realized my shoulders weren't tense. That's when I knew I'd done the right thing. Then about 6 weeks later, I had the final run-in. It happened at the downtown post office. I had a passport appointment because I was renewing for work travel. I was standing in line, holding the folder with all the documents, trying not to look like a guy who'd never organized anything in his life. There were families with crying kids, an old man arguing about stamps, a teenager with earbuds pretending none of this was real. And then I heard my name. Grant. I turned and there she was. Maya, hair done, outfit perfect, like she'd stepped out of an ad. She was holding a small padded envelope and a coffee cup. For a second, it felt like a glitch, like she wasn't supposed to be in my world anymore. She walked closer, eyes scanning me like she was taking inventory. "Wow," she said, "you look fine." I gave a small nod. "Hi." She glanced around like checking for an audience. "So this is it, you really just moved on." I moved forward, I said. Her lips pressed together. "I heard you're taking trips now." I didn't ask who told her, it didn't matter. "I'm renewing my passport," I said, lifting the folder slightly. She looked at the folder and then at my keys in my hand. And hanging from them was the peach keychain. Not the one she gave me. A different one. Because after the dust settled, I'd bought a plain keychain from a little local shop near the trailhead. Same shape, same color, but mine. Something simple that reminded me of starting over without carrying her charm like a souvenir. Maya's eyes narrowed. "Is that seriously a new one?" I didn't smile. "Yeah." She scoffed. "You're so weird, Grant." I felt the old urge to explain myself, to make her understand. Then I remembered, understanding was never the problem, respect was. "I'm not doing this here," I said, keeping my voice low. "This is a post office." She stepped closer anyway. "I just want closure." I looked at her, calm, neutral, no heat. "Closure isn't something I give you," I said. "It's something you decide." Her face tightened. "So you're just going to act like I'm nothing?" "I'm going to act like we're done," I said. She opened her mouth, ready to launch into another speech, but the line moved and the clerk called, "Next." Maya hesitated, caught between performing and reality. I gave her my final boundary in one sentence. "Please don't contact me anymore unless it's strictly necessary," I said. Then I added one clean closing line, because I knew she'd remember it. "I'm not available for this story." Her eyes flashed like I'd slapped her, but I didn't wait for the reaction. I stepped forward when the line moved, handed the clerk my documents, and kept my hand steady as I signed my form. When I walked out 5 minutes later, the air felt cold and sharp in the best way. I got in my car, set the folder on the passenger seat, and for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel like I needed to check my phone. That night I made dinner, watched a dumb show, and went to bed early. A week after that, I went on a casual date with someone I met through Caleb's girlfriend. Nothing intense, just coffee and talking like normal adults. No tests, no power plays, no prove you love me by shrinking. And I realized how peaceful, normal can be when you stop confusing chaos with chemistry. If you've ever been told you're the problem for wanting basic respect, let me know in the comments. Seriously, I read them. And if you want more stories where the narrator wins with calm receipts and clean boundaries, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.